We don't want to see it.
Let's go.
Oh, shoot, our phone lines just went down.
Did they really?
Yes.
So
All right, I
far.
want to call the Wednesday, March 18th meeting for the infrastructure to order. Roll call, Alderman Perkins,
Present.
Alderwoman,
Haderlein.
I'm getting there, Haderlein.
Present.
I had to get the Alderwoman out first.
It's an extra syllable.
Alderman Lavallee is here, and City Administrator Debi is here, as well as Mayor Kelly, and our Public Works Director, Rob
Lambs.
Lambs is here. All right, I couldn't get that one out. I don't believe we have anybody attending electronically. I think Joel said he'll be here. It just
Yeah.
might be a little late. But we have three, so we have a quorum. Any public? Okay. Any public comments? No public's here for comments. We will dispense that.
Hey, John, hang on one second. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. We got the,
Oh, okay. All right, now we want to have a public hearing regarding the IEPA Public Water Supply Loan Program.
And I have John Duddles with Christopher B. Burke Engineering on the line for any possible questions.
Okay, great. All right, I will now open the public hearing for the City of Harvard regarding the Phase 1 Environmental Investigation Determination, or PEID, for projects funded through the Illinois Protection Agency Public Water Supply Loan Program. Associated with IEPA loan numbers L177741 through L177743 and L177984 through L177987. This public hearing is being held to receive public comments related to the environmental impacts of the proposed water system improvements and to satisfy the public participation requirements of the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. Notice of this public hearing was provided in accordance with the applicable state requirements, and relevant public information has been made public and that has been available to the public for review. I will now open the floor for public comments. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to state their name and address for the record. All comments should be limited to the subject of this public hearing. Unfortunately, there is nobody here from the public.
Mr. Chairman, let me just interject for the record at 7:04, Alderman Kriete joined the meeting.
Thank you very much,
Yep.
Mr. Mayor. So nobody's here from the public for comments. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak or submit comments regarding Phase 1 environmental investigation determination for these projects? Does that include people on this committee?
Oh, okay, because I'm not used to that. Can we get a overlay of this, since this was a shock to get this?
John, are you able to explain the purpose of the public hearing?
Sure. So the public hearing is the last step in getting your project plan approved. Essentially, this will leverage and make you eligible for IEP loan funding for both water main, lead service line replacement, and water system improvements. Once this hearing is completed and 10 days pass with no public comment, we'll submit that to the IEPA. They'll approve your project plan, and this coming May, they will release their draft intended funding use plan, which your projects will be scored and listed on there and eligible for possible loan funding. Water main loan funding, you would have an interest rate of 1.62%, and lead service line loans would be a 0% loan for 30 years. With possible, one more thing, with possible forgiveness, you may qualify depending on how you score for principal forgiveness, which would then allow you, essentially would be like a grant, where the funding would be you wouldn't have to pay any funding back.
And that's determined by the IEPA, correct?
Yes, and it'll be determined, it goes by, they score by median household income and different census factors.
Understand.
And this is a $31 million project, correct?
It's essentially the project plan has that much in it. You don't have to, you're not committed to everything that's in there. It's essentially, you can leverage the funding if needed. If not, you don't have to take the funding
Okay,
or take the loan or anything like that.
okay.
But if we
it would
don't
be
take
up
the
to-
loan, what happens?
If you don't, there's nothing detrimental that happens if you don't take the loan. It's essentially, you're using this as another funding mechanism, whether you decide to use city funds, public funds, bonding, it's just another funding mechanism to pay for water system improvements.
Besides the lead service, is the water main state thing that we have to replace right away? Like, if we don't do it, okay.
So initially, when we were going out and discussing the IEPA loans for the lead service line, Mr. Duddles also mentioned that, based upon some of our incomes and sort of the opportunities out there, that it would be a good idea to apply for some of these other projects, especially if there's a chance of either really low interest rates or possible forgiveness.
All right, and so on this location map that was given, these are all the lines that these grants would fix, correct, or would,
What location map?
Yes, so we tried to align,
thought that was
we
the
tried to
streets
align
we were
it
doing.
with the streets that we were
Oh,
doing or considering.
Okay,
So that way, we could do water main improvements before the pavement's down. That's the idea. With some of the stuff like the northern end of Garfield, that was selected because that's a hot spot for us. We've had quite a few main breaks up on that end. So that was one of the ones that we really wanted to try to capture. And that was also, we were trying to also do that because we started coming up with this list as we were doing the IDOT application for Garfield.
oh.
So that was
okay.
the hope too, was that, well, if we can get all of
Yeah.
Garfield redone, we should probably do the troubled section of Maine.
That makes sense.
so this isn't all the spots then, this is just the ones that
Well,
would be
it
best
kind
for
of,
us to do,
it kind of ties in with the road program, with the areas that we're going to have torn up.
yes.
So that would be a good idea. Do we have a lot of hot spots on McKinley? Not really. We had a lot recently in
Roosevelt.
West Roosevelt.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things where if there's an opportunity to apply for funding for it, and it works well with our program, that would be a good time to do it.
This was submitted with our application, correct?
Yes.
So if we go forward with this, it might change our road program somewhat, wouldn't it?
It depends on how fast the IEPA permits would come back for some of that stuff, but the idea would be that it would kind of, especially if we're doing McKinley or Lincoln, that it would go in concert with it.
Well, I was saying, like, I know there was some parts of Lincoln that we weren't gonna do. But if they're going to be tearing up the road anyway, then we're gonna have to add them.
Well, it depends on the section of the water main too, like on Garfield, the water main's on the edge of the road in the right of way. So, a lot of times for this, doing services and stuff, to be directional boring. But obviously, if we're gonna have an impact to the right of way, with the construction of the road, would be a good time to do it anyway.
Some of the money, though, for this could be used for the road itself, couldn't?
The IEPA will allow you to replace the road over the top of where the water main was replaced. But they're onto municipalities that were like, well, we had to replace the water main, so we have to do all 24-foot width. They're not gonna fly with that.
Someone tried it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
But it could be supplemental where there is
correct.
main underneath a road. And while the water main isn't necessarily part of a complete streets that we have adopted,
Right.
it makes sense to try and do it while the road is being redone, because then, especially if it's really old main or there's
Yeah.
problems in the main, because then we prevent future cuts for a long time, right?
Right.
So-
Oh, yeah. And so we're thinking that, so if the work on the roads would start potentially next spring,
Mhm.
that there's a chance that we could have this funding in place to also be able to
Right, to get the
start this
process
work.
going and,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
It does, but where do we come up with the almost 1.4 million repayment every year of the loan?
That we would have to determine how much money we were going to take, and it would be dependent on whether or not we got loan forgiveness. All this would depend on how we score.
Loan forgiveness, the last time we did
Or,
this
sorry,
with
principal forgiveness.
with the wastewater treatment, how much was that? 2 million we only got?
Yes.
How many more years do we have left of that loan?
It's a 30-year, right?
30-year amortized over 40, yes.
But, John, do you want to explain our potential chances of getting 100%?
Yeah, so for the way the lead service line loan program works is that they do by census tracts, and essentially we've obviously compared all your census tracts and scored them according to how they would score with the IPA, and so we're submitting those obviously as the first candidates for the loan program. If they do score high enough, they would get. Right now, the feds or IPA and the EPA are the last program year. Principal forgiveness was about 2.5 million out of the maximum amount they would allow. So essentially, a lot of communities, when they did get principal forgiveness, essentially just did up to their principal forgiveness amount and not take any additional loan funding. So that could be an option that for your council or your board to decide on at the time when they score.
So you're saying if it's 2.6 million forgiveness, only use that 2.6?
Correct.
Correct.
We would have to take the entire amount.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would be on board for, because right here, saying if you did more than that, we would have to raise either water bills again or property taxes to pay for it. Because we definitely don't have 1.4 million sitting in the general fund.
Well, and you typically wouldn't use general fund funding to pay for water main, that would come out of the water sewer fund.
Right.
We don't even have that though, that's, so you would have to raise water bills. And I just got my water bill yesterday, only used 9 units, so less than usually the most city people. And it was still $159 and some odd change. So it's still a good amount. And luckily I'm conservative with my water usage because I know how expensive it is. And so I make sure my kids and everyone else in my house doesn't use the water, like they can. And the only good thing is for me is every third day, I don't need to take a shower at my place because I'm at my full-time job where I can take a shower.
Just note that none of these decisions have to be made today.
Right.
We are applying for the application, or submitting the application, and if approved, at that point, it will come to council to make determinations on how they want to proceed.
Yes,
And for the purpose of the public hearing, comments should be limited to the subject of the hearing.
gotcha. All right, anybody else?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Hearing no further comments, I will now close the public hearing. All comments received will be made part of the public record and will be considered as part of the city's submittal to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you to everybody who participated.
You're welcome, John.
John, for your time, we
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was exciting. All right, now, I'd like, hopefully everybody had a chance to read the minutes, and if so, can I get, if there's no corrections to the minutes, can I get an approval?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the minutes from February 12th, 2026.
Thank you.
A second.
And a motion by Haderlein and a second by Kriete. All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Discussion regarding the tornado sirens. Everyone's got a packet
Yes.
of something.
So we received this actually today, or late this morning. Sheboygan Warning Systems, as I previously reported, had reached out to us after watching one of our meetings and hearing that we were looking for a backup system to our Code Red. And they came out, their representative came out on Friday and went with Rob around town, looked at all of our current systems, and based on that audit, put together this packet for us with a couple of different options. One of them is more affordable than the other. I'll let Rob explain what they talked about and what some of the
Yeah.
suggestions that were made.
Absolutely. So he came out, he had a couple things. There's the two systems that he presented. One is sort of the base model to get us in the door, and the second would be if we, planned on having more versatility with this and more options as far as setting it off ourselves and controlling it ourselves. Option one, basically what it does is it takes a NOAA weather radio and it puts it in the siren box that's always listening to the tones for the weather. And when the National Weather Service sets off their warnings and it has those chirps and buzzes and all that, it listens for that and it will set off the sirens. So at the end of it, it closes everything out. So it's one way. So, it receives the signal, it'll turn on the siren. We really don't have a way to control that. It's all set by NOAA, but it is very cost effective. It basically puts a weather radio in each siren and the equipment to run it based upon the tones. He said it's essentially a weather radio and it's got a little aux jack in the back that you plug in, and that's what sets everything off. The second one is sort of like they've done, they do also do that in communities, but that would basically set up the infrastructure that we could control everything from a central location. We could set it off for whatever we wanted. Tests, things like that would all be an option. Obviously, that has more of a cost to it. Both of these are a one-time purchase. There's no subscription plan or annual fee that's needed for that. And, we went around and we tested some of the siren sites, got them to growl. By bumping them. Northfield did not move, but that could just be something as simple as it hasn't spun in so long that, just a bad spot in the brush, we get up there and give it a turn. But he did say, that almost a direct bolt-in replacement for Northfield, if it was decided that that one was not in usable shape, was approximately $7,500. Very knowledgeable, looked at our systems, knew exactly what he was looking at. And he even reminded us of sirens that we had not recollected. So he was very, they did their research, they did a really great job, and I feel like that, this is a great opportunity if council or committee decides to move forward.
When I spoke with Josh today, he also volunteered to come to a city council meeting or a committee meeting and discuss this further. This is a lot of information that you haven't had time to review yet because we just received it today. So if you would like him to attend the meeting after you've had time to look this over, and he can talk further about his recommendations or the things he saw when he was out inspecting our sirens, or any questions you have about this, we can certainly invite him to do that before a decision is made.
So it looks like if the one on Northfield's actually fine after we spin it, get up there and spin it, the second option, the most it's gonna cost is about 17 grand.
The second option with the weather radios is about,
The one that we can control, no,
oh,
like the whole time.
so that one, that would be all in, like the base station, the two-way radios, and then everything that's needed for those.
I'm actually good with that 17,000 almost.
Yeah.
Because what we were told when we, took them off of it, what was it, Lisa?
I can't remember.
50, 80?
It was huge.
Oh, was it by about
Yeah, it was a-
100?
I think it was in the neighborhood of 100,000.
Yeah, it was a huge
100,000, right,
number.
Mayor?
Yeah,
Yes.
that just,
What I will note, though, is that there are missing areas that are not being covered by the sirens. So
I do
part of
see
that
that.
100,000 was also adding sirens to ensure full coverage, because there is not full coverage of our community. And I do not believe that was included in these.
No, this is merely to
The current
get
one.
the current
Right.
sirens
Yeah.
up and running.
So that is something we could also discuss with him. I could reach back out and get some additional information as far as costs to do additional sirens and have them hooked up to this type of system. We would also need to discuss the funding for this as well, because that wasn't part of our upcoming budget. So there's some things that we still need to hash out, but
Well, we have, no, because it's in a CD right now, so you can't take that from the Cures program, correct?
the funding options would be discussed at administrative committee
Yeah.
once we had all the options.
so does this map, does it include the one at Northfield?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, yeah, one of the largest, highest density housing
Yeah.
areas isn't even covered.
Right.
There was also some additional cost for some possible battery replacements. if they
Yes,
were needed.
the two that have battery backup, there's the one down by, or there's three.
Talking about Northfield, Mayor?
You're not covered, Mike.
No, so the ones that have battery backups are the one over by the township garage, the
You
one
can.
by Eastman Lot,
Clear
and
day.
the
Training, no, I could
Oh.
not hear.
Okay.
one over by over by Air Street. Should probably use a more.
I note
Universal.
on here too, he says this quote does not include work on the existing siren controls. What does that mean?
So the siren controls, when we went up there, to initialize them, it was just kind of manual, you know. He gloved up and did everything and then just pushed the contactor up just to see if the sirens would move. You know, obviously being Friday is as windy as it was, we didn't want to full-on initialize a
Right,
bunch of
right,
tornado
right,
sirens, so.
right. Okay, so, can you give us a cost of that too? Because I don't think that's included.
Yeah, I'm sure we can have them. If it's something simple as
Mm-hmm.
a service call, you know, we could probably have them out and say, hey, go through them, see if there's anything they need, and then we can give the residents advance notice that, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're testing the sirens today, and these might be coming on and off, and
Oh, boy. It's gonna be a lot on the 401 when you do that.
Well, and we weren't quite sure what the audit on Friday was going to entail, so now that we
Yeah.
have more information, you know, he's more than willing to come back out, and we would have time to give advance notice on that.
Yeah.
And discuss any other questions you have, and determine if you want to move forward with a presentation from the company, or how you want to advance.
Oh, that one.
the Wayland, I
Huge.
forget the name of it.
Right by
That
Maxwell
one,
Division.
Vortex.
yeah, that one, the Vortex has the biggest coverage. It uses 4 speaker drivers, and, you know, it spins, so it's not omnidirectional like the Northfield one. So
okay.
like when it goes,
When
it
it's pointing
focuses
your
that
direction, yeah.
that energy in one area. He did say that, you know, if that one ever needed, you know, service parts, I think he said that it has 4 speaker drivers in the back of it, and each speaker driver, I think, is over $1,000. But that's a road to cross when we get there. I don't know what
Yeah.
those systems cost new. I know he said that the like the unidirectional or the omnidirectional one at Northfield,
Yeah.
you know, being 7,500, he said it's, you know, 3-phase 240 AC. Now the Vortex, that's DC powered off the battery.
Oh.
Those, I can't remember the number. He threw a number at us, Deb, and it was somewhere between 20 and 30,000, I
was
think,
a
for
lot.
that system.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Man, I mean, even that, just to have another one of those in the north part of town, I mean, then you've got everything covered,
Yeah.
even out to Huntington Ridge.
Right.
And Mike.
North, or, Oak Grove Crossing, right?
Yeah, all of Oak Grove.
It'd be nice to get that presentation, though.
Yeah,
You know,
Okay.
make the time for it. I'm sure plenty of the public would like to attend for that, because it's, obviously, there are some
And Milky
who are
Way
interested.
Park, which,
True.
would be a place you would really want it, because
Yeah,
there'd
you
be
would.
people outside, right?
Yes.
So,
yes. Milky Way and Lions.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I noticed Lori's house isn't currently covered by the
Oh, yeah.
current.
That's by design.
Gallon, Park Point was a problem.
Yeah.
The library, the pool area was a problem.
And it should be noted as well is that these circumferences, that's where it's 70 decibels or greater, so you can still hear it outside
Yeah.
of that. It's
Might not
just
be
not
as, yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
I get it.
And what I can tell you, if you look at the one there off of, is it Northfield, that's, that omnidirectional one, my property is right on the cusp of that, or just outside of it. And for certain, you could hear it on a clear day when they tested it, but when there was wind blowing and raining, you could not hear it. Couldn't hear it. So, if you drove a couple
and that's
blocks
probably
closer, you
when
could
you're
see
going to need to
That's when
hear
you
it,
need
right?
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
And I've always maintained that the sirens should be a backup system, like in addition.
Yeah,
But as a primary system,
Mhm.
it's lacking, right?
Yeah.
So-
yeah,
But it does have great value to the public regardless of
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
Last week we proved it down in Kankakee.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
And because it was so nice, everyone went for a bike ride, a walk,
yeah,
take the dog. A lot of people were caught off guard, even though they had their phones. They
right.
knew it was coming in. I'm sure you guys saw some of that damage. Even our own vehicles are completely destroyed, along with other municipal vehicles, police cars.
Yeah.
Homes, et cetera. But there's really, I know it's used a lot, but it's true, there's no price on safety. There's no such thing as not too much warning, too much anything.
True.
When it comes to that, and just to get this presentation, I think would help everyone understand it a lot better.
Would you prefer this at committee or at city council?
Preference?
Council?
Maybe council to
I
get
would say
everybody.
council, so
Yeah.
it gives a chance for everyone.
Maybe, but sure. But yes, I think city council, sure.
Well, council makes sense, then generally all the persons are here, so everybody can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We'll reach back out with some of the questions that you had and try to get an estimate on
Yeah.
continuing the coverage throughout the uncovered areas and get something on the agenda for possibly April, if not May.
That sounds great. Thank you. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, that's good.
They just happened to catch our council.
I thought
Right.
it was
Meeting
very
discussion,
interesting.
yeah.
Yes.
They seem very knowledgeable.
And this guy does have a date, can we advertise that to the public?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put something out on
Yeah.
the website and on 411, right?
We'll turn on the sirens, let them know.
Well, that'll generate some calls.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Back in the
We're
same.
testing.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments on that? Good to go? All right. Move on to the 2026 road program sidewalk retaining wall analysis that we had Gary do last meeting. He is on vacation, so Rob is going to fill this in.
So just looking at the analysis that Gary put together, I think we're talking about in total, we're talking about a possible cost of an additional $200,000 when it comes to this project. Obviously, if you read Gary's notes, in continuing with our complete streets, this is something that he recommends that we take care of, as well as I, because this is something we don't want to come back to and rework. But through this, he lays out what each proposed section may cost and a couple drawings of what it may look like at the end.
I had a question regarding some of these locations, and specifically the lineal location.
The which one? Sorry.
The lineal location, Lincoln, east side between McKinley and Burbank, is that something the city constructed at some point, or was that something the homeowner did? And I'm talking about the steps down to the street from the sidewalk.
Little rectangle.
It could be either or, where the sidewalk ends, especially because it's got a handrail, but that predates certainly my time and probably,
Predates generally everybody in.
yeah.
I mean, that, it was like that when I moved here, so.
And the mayor brought that up because it
That's
wasn't
over
because
20
of
years, yeah.
back in the day with the horses and carriages.
Oh, that was the carriage walks.
Here's one.
I
That
guess
was
where
you.
I'm
I'm sorry.
going though is if you drive down that street, off of the one with the handrail, right across the street is a driveway, somebody's driveway.
Right.
So does that, need to be there? Should the city be
In other words,
putting
remove
money
it.
into?
No,
Remove it.
certainly, it would be my recommendation that any carriage walks or things like that are removed unless it serves a purpose. Like if it was financially not feasible to continue the sidewalk and it had to end there. But as you said, if we do a transition down there, we are telling somebody that could be in a wheelchair, visually disabled or otherwise, that there's something to receive them on the other side. And without putting detectable warning surfaces in somebody's driveway, that wouldn't be a good spot to drop somebody off.
So we would have to remove it just because ADA compliance with someone that's not able to see as well?
Correct. So like
You
when
can just leave it to let it go away?
I would recommend removing it anyway, especially because that's a staircase on city property that's not really maintained. Because when we start touching it, we have to start bringing it up to code. But that's what, those detectable warning surfaces tell people that are visually impaired that, you are about to cross into a roadway and there's something on the other side to receive you, which is why when we do road projects, if we touch one corner, we got to touch all four.
All right, so you got the same thing then on the next lineal, where you got stairs coming down to the street.
hmm
That's what I mean.
Still have to,
No,
What-
no,
still have to do that in the middle of the block?
For,
This one that's on.
On Lincoln.
McKinley and Burbank on Lincoln.
Was that determined to be a city sidewalk?
let me pull it up.
How do you confirm that that's not a private?
I
Well,
mean,
right.
it's in the.
I mean, anything in the right of way comes up to our discretion to
Right.
modify.
But doesn't the easement change throughout town on the various ages?
Generally speaking, the sidewalk should be, not always, should be on city right-of-way. Generally speaking, when the sidewalks are put in, they're put in, 6 inches, a foot to the city side. So that, because generally speaking, like when we do a sidewalk replacement plan, or if we replace sidewalk, we just put in same for same. But if we have to put sidewalk where there is none, that's when we have to get survey work done to ensure property pins and that we're within the easement.
Think entrance into Milky Way Park off of Ratzlaff. I think it's C's recommendation, any of these stairs that are in the right of way should be simply
Correct.
removed.
just removed and not,
Just removed.
don't put a,
Plant grass.
don't put a ramp there, basically, you don't even have to, do the, you don't have to do the wall there.
This house though, on Lincoln, between McKinley and Burbank, and one is at where the sidewalk ends, but the
Yep.
other one is in line with the steps that go up to their house.
Yes.
And I know I would be annoyed if the city came and took out the walkway that goes across the city right-of-way from the curb that then goes to the sidewalk and then to my front door, because that's a convenience for visitors.
It is
They don't have to walk
it is
across
convenience
my
for
lawn.
that property owner, but you're then making.
It's a liability for the
It's a
city.
liability issue for the city because we have to maintain.
I know it's the neighbor's driveway, but can you connect that sidewalk to that driveway?
We'd have to, we'd have to do engineering and do the detectable warning surfaces and all that. Like when we run in,
Of every concrete walkway in the right-of-way?
The walkway or?
The walkways, or just the steps? I mean, because is the city responsible for the concrete walkways too, then? I mean, I don't think so.
are you talking the carriage walks?
Like,
You mean if this wasn't steps, it was just a walkway to the
Yeah,
street?
yeah, yeah. I mean, because Everybody has those.
Because, so
Those are everywhere.
if we modify those
Yeah, Nolan
things,
part of town, yes.
we had, because having sidewalk that goes to like an uncut curb becomes a problem then, because then if somebody that's visually impaired steps off into the street, like this is one of those things where we have to touch everything. Like when Public Works replaced the sidewalk on Garfield, we ran into carriage walk and I removed it because we can't put it back, and the condition of it wasn't in a way where I felt comfortable leaving it. I understand it's an inconvenience to that resident, but I think, it'd be a different conversation if somebody stepped off of it and fell and then tried to hold the city liable for it.
So how do we, so
This one?
That's north of that. You can see it, just right underneath where your mouse is.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see that, the other one, those are steps going from the road, and then they continue steps up to the house. Yeah.
Driveway
Damn
is
trees.
connected.
It looks like it's connected and like it's overgrown, like the grass is overgrown with stuff.
No, I'm saying that driveway for the other house, they share that driveway, it looks like.
It used to go straight to looks like another sidewalk across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it was, maybe.
Looks awfully light colored, looks like concrete. Because the driveway for that other house is on the
On
McKinley side.
McKinley, yeah.
That's the only sidewalk on that side of Lincoln, right? Just that property?
Well, there's some
Oh,
here.
Yeah.
So one about 2 lots from that, there's another one?
And this is one of those weird properties where they share, a driveway.
Yeah. So technically, if you do put that sidewalk, extend it to that driveway, it is a driveway. So it's not like the neighbors are gonna yell, hey, you're walking on my driveway.
Oh, no, the apron is still within the city's right of way, so you can run the sidewalk across, that's not an issue. The question just remains, these conveyances here, it's my recommendation that they be removed. So,
I agree with that, that's the reason why I wanna say if we remove them and we go forward with this plan, to have that sidewalk go up to at least to that driveway.
Okay, so like right there.
Yeah, these are like the ones you're talking about, right?
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
These, so do we remove those two? Or only if it's steps?
In terms of being ADA compliant, it would be upon the city to remove them, because there's no receiver on the other side of the street for them.
Because
It's not a sign, it's just
But
for
it-
somebody to get out of their car at the curb and walk up to your front door.
it attaches to city sidewalk though, which means that
Well, what about the frickin' driveway? That's not ADA compliant, and we're not doing this to anybody's driveway.
but the driveways are not meant for pedestrians.
It's not a pedestrian walkway.
I don't think we want to go in, I don't think we want to do this.
Honestly,
I think this would be war.
going with Lisa, to kind of help her with that, is actually for first responders.
Yeah,
With the cot, if you don't go and we get called there, instead of tracking the cot through grass, which is uneven terrain, yes, the sidewalk might not be ideal, flat, but it's a lot better doing that than trying to haul it through grass. And I know, not just in this town, but other towns,
Yeah.
they use that a lot,
uh-huh,
when there's not a true sidewalk or driveway to
yeah,
get the cot through.
absolutely.
It's your decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would favor not taking those out. I mean, just focusing on the, and I don't know if there's an ordinance or something that we put in place regarding those.
Well, I don't think,
But,
I'm okay with not taking them out, but I'm also not okay with making them ADA compliant.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
And putting, block walls and everything else, because there's, like
Yeah,
$40,000?
there'd be a lot of
Yeah,
those
exactly.
if we were to address those.
All I'm suggesting is by keeping them in place, it is not ADA compliant.
It is not.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many of these that have the older part of town can we look at? Maybe the sidewalk going closer to the road so you are less in the retaining wall, right? Doesn't the land go flatter towards the road? I know, which one was it that has pretty significant steps? It was like, it seemed like 5 or 6 steps going up.
Mhm.
So you'd be cutting into that you'd have to put a pretty,
I mean,
Big
it would have
wall
to
into
be,
that?
yeah, a pretty good wall, and then, the chase back and forth to get down to the
You-
street.
do you have to use that much of the easement that far in? Or would it be more sensible curbside?
Well, you want them as far away from the traffic, the driving lane as possible.
Yeah.
Right,
And
but if you're
you've got
replacing them-
trees
Yeah.
in the parkway
If you're
too.
looking at what, $80,000 per corner on some of these? It's a couple streets of repaving. And I get it, your ADA is always gonna come up. I mean, is it
Now,
illegal
these-
to put it that close
all
to the
these
road?
estimates assume that we're putting sidewalk on both sides of the street. Is that
Yes.
right?
Correct.
And do we want to do that?
I thought when we were in the last meeting, I thought we were thinking more just doing the one side.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, but I think we want to get the bid
I
Yeah, we
think
did
for
wanna
the
get-
whole thing,
what was discussed
and then we
was,
can change it once we have the numbers.
correct,
Okay,
was
makes sense.
direction to
That
Gary
does
to
make
get an
sense.
idea of what it would cost to do both sides up and down Lincoln Street.
Yeah, but I mean, in the bid, unless you separate the sidewalk, hey, this is for the west side of Lincoln Street for this, and this is for the east side, because if you don't, they're gonna put everything
Right.
together.
Yeah, and you
An
won't know how
alternative bid on
And
it.
they're not gonna know which they bid for what.
and you can't just cut it in half.
He would do
alternate
an
bid.
alternate bid, an alternative on it.
So we would have to do alternate bid.
Yep.
So the question really then remains, do you want to abide by the complete streets requirement that the council set for itself when rebuilding streets or not? The county made that resolution to do complete streets, so
Well, to
we're
do the
going under the
streets-
assumption, based on county's direction on that resolution, do a complete street. If you decide you only want to do one side of the street for sidewalks, certainly that's council's discretion, but it is not in accordance with what council had previously decided.
So you're saying we have to put in sidewalks based
I'm
on
not
the
saying you have
past?
to, I'm just saying council decided that that's what they would do.
It's
If
a
it was cost
policy.
infection.
It's not an ordinance, it's a policy,
Yeah.
so council decided they would
Policy.
follow that
Policy.
policy.
Yeah, I mean, let's
That's why
see
it's
what
a-
the numbers are.
Yes.
And let's focus from the ADA compliance standpoint on the corners, on the actual corners. And these sort of accessory convenience,
Carriage stairs.
yeah,
Yeah,
or,
in looking
paths, yeah.
up, just quick Googling, this has happened in another municipality where they talked about whether or not to keep them. And the decision came from a disabilities rights attorney and a director of advocacy for their ability center that said it is their opinion that the carriage walks are covered by Title II of the ADA Act. So any plans to change, modify, alter has to have a plan to update them in accordance with current ADA regulations.
Carriage walk.
So if the carriage
So
walks
just the
remain,
steps.
yeah, carriage walks steps or the carriage walk, either or,
So,
because
okay.
if it dumps somebody off on the street, it has to, according to this disabilities rights attorney, it has to apply to the current ADA
But it was never
regulations.
went to court.
This
The
one,
attorney just saying that.
is that just testimony
Yeah.
at a meeting?
it says under these statutes, any newly installed carriage walks would be an alteration required to be built in compliance.
Well, so if they're not newly installed,
Well, they're gonna
but we
be,
could require that if somebody wants to replace one at their house, or that then they have to, it has to be done according to
Permanent,
ADA. But I think, just like we don't take ownership of the apron, right, for the driveway, that's the responsibility of the homeowner. We're not replacing those or doing those. I think we can say that those carriage walks are the responsibility of the resident.
Why don't we ask our,
Engineer.
our
Yep.
engineering and attorneys for their legal
Yeah.
opinion?
Yeah.
And that way you at least have a
Yeah.
legal opinion to help make an informed decision.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Do we need a motion or anything on this?
Well, at this point, I guess Gary's going to need direction on how we're going to proceed when it comes to moving forward with the program and the bidding. So you'll have to decide how you want to proceed with the corners at any rate.
Well, I think we want to do the alternate bid for,
East and west
for
sidewalks.
east and west of Lincoln.
Mhm.
That we definitely want to, east, or west, include west side, and then
West to
east.
be included and
Yeah, and
east to be as
an alternate, right?
We can make that.
Yeah, I think,
East is the side with the hill.
Mhm.
right, I think that'd be the cost-effective one to do. Yeah. Can I get a motion for that? Do I need a motion for that?
I think Lisa just made that motion. I'll
Yeah.
second it.
All right, all those in favor of including the west sidewalk as part of the program and the east as an alternate?
Alternate bid.
Actually, I'll do a roll call on this. Joel?
Yeah. Yes.
Alderman Perkins?
Yes.
Alderwoman Haderlein?
Yes,
Alderman
You're an
Lavallee?
alderman.
Yes.
okay.
Why wasn't Joel not alderman?
Yeah, what's going on, John?
Yeah. It's just Joel.
What's the deal?
You're like Cher, you know?
Why
Just
not?
Joel.
So we'll put this on the city council agenda for next Tuesday for final
Okay.
approval, and then we can give city engineer direction.
Yep.
At that time.
And hopefully we'll have an opinion by then too, maybe. Maybe.
That's a lot of research. but
Yeah,
I will-
because the other, we have to do some research
Yeah.
on it. so.
I will reach out tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
All right, fantastic.
Only if we don't go over budget.
Okay, moving on, item 9, the Forest Downs Water Main Connection Update.
Me to we are in discussion with property owners. We've started one direction and met resistance, so we've gone and spoke to a second property owner to go in a different direction. They are somewhat interested in working with the city, but I'm glad I actually have this up so we can kind of show you.
So are we talking about a different, to put it somewhere else?
So if you recall,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
no, I know.
recall, our initial route was going to basically go this way and up. I think right here, right? These property owners are hemming and hawing. So another solution is to go this way and around. Noting that I need to change this because we're on the wrong map. There's now a pond here from building all this. Which requires us to have to go around it, right? So, that older map, when we were looking back, and these houses weren't built, so when these were built, they had to do a retention pond, which created this huge mound of dirt, I think it was like 30 feet high.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we went and approached this property owner to see about doing something like this to connect. He is somewhat amicable to consider that. However, because of this and because of the narrowness of this part of this field that he farms, or someone farms, crop shares, one or the other, they have a real hard time growing in this area because, number one, it tends to be a bit wet, obviously down in here from this, and there's not enough room to turn around when they're got their tractor plow
got a
and all.
300-foot planter or whatever.
Yeah,
those-
yeah, so,
They should be able to turn around in that.
so I'm just telling you what the property owner has stated to me. So he would be interested in selling,
Selling the city the land.
he wants to sell this part of the land because, and we basically said, we'll talk about it.
How many acres is that?
It was roughly 11, I think.
11. Big's a pipe.
So you're basically talking about,
How deep is the water main if you put one in there?
I mean, could be anywhere from 6 to 8 feet. It really depends on elevation, what else is down there, what are we gonna run into? There's a,
Minimum 6 feet.
Yeah.
Anything higher.
I mean, we wouldn't wanna go any higher, you wanna stay below the frost line ideally.
Well, yeah.
9.5,
Yeah.
10
Makes
acres.
sense.
Okay.
This doesn't affect planning.
Also depends what's under the support.
We've not, we've just basically said we would, discuss it. From the city's perspective, the city does not need this land, right? There's not much that we could do with it. However, what I think we could do, if we were so inclined to consider, is instead of just buying this, is buying the entire parcels and then finding a developer to develop them. And so I would suggest if we did consider that, we wouldn't buy them except on a contingency that we had a developer that would be interested in developing this land, where we could turn around and do a private-public partnership maybe to do something there. That would give us that
Get people to
opportunity.
build houses out there.
I understand that.
And the developer
Part of
then
that
put all
is,
that in?
there are developers that want to buy these lots, and the current owner of these lots won't sell them unless they also buy the apartment complex. So that has been a barrier for someone to build out here.
Oh.
However, if we had all this land up here, we might have an opportunity to find a developer that would be willing to build in here. Part of this wouldn't be buildable, but part of it would be, and that would solve the problem. I don't know if it makes sense to go that route. All I'm saying is, if the city was interested in buying any of this land, we should buy all of it to try and get it developed, because this piece doesn't really help us other than for this easement. And so from that, if we were just simply trying to do the easement across this property, my recommendation would be not to buy the land and simply buy the easement.
the one with
This
2
route
arms?
that we originally went is not dead yet, but we're,
What's his, has he gave a reason?
well, his main reason is simply he doesn't trust the city.
Put something 6 feet below the ground.
He doesn't trust the city. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's understandable. There's people who got that opinion.
I mean, that's clearly land that at some point would be developed,
Yes.
and wouldn't it be to their advantage
We
to
have
actually
explained-
have the water
Yes.
line there?
Yes, we have
How
explained all
about
of
a
that.
friendly condemnation?
That wouldn't be very friendly.
Well, no, but that's a thing,
I understand.
yeah. But
We haven't considered
because
that route.
that is a tax, there's a tax benefit for the landowner if
It's improved.
if it's condemned.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I know, but, so you do it, and that's part of the negotiation is that, okay, how about if we do this as a condemnation and we pay you this and then you get the tax break for that? There's a tax benefit. I mean, I'm not an accountant, so I can't say exactly what it is, but municipalities, conservation districts, they all do that as a negotiating point to sweeten the pot. So, I mean, it's really a thing, friendly condemnation. Ask Matt. Yeah.
And this property's got 2 owners, you said?
No.
Or is it the
Which
other?
property?
other-
Two different
The
properties.
first, the one that's highlighted right
To the
now?
north? No, it's
Single?
it's,
Okay. And the other one has two owners?
No, that's just a different property.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
two different routes.
Right.
This property down here, it does have partners, yes.
Two partners, okay, or multiple?
Four?
I don't know the total number because we've not met them
Yeah.
all, but yeah, there's partners. So you have to convince more people than you do for the north.
Right now, they're not interested, right?
They're really not interested.
Okay.
And part of it is because, they owned all of this property here, they've sold off a bunch of these lots, but the principal problem has been because when they purchased all this, they were responsible for this drainage into this detention pond, and they've had to spend a lot of money over time because of erosion, and so they don't trust the city. That when this gets put in, that they wouldn't be responsible for maintaining it, which we've
Maintain the
explained
water
that's
main?
not the case. But they don't trust the city, so I can't get past that issue.
I get it.
We do have, at the end of Wildflower Lane, you can see the trees that continue into that northern parcel. We do have a little bit of easement there from sanitary easement, and then also there is a water main and a sanitary structure basically at the end of that tree line, where it hits, yeah, it's
Right.
very close to there. So we already have a decent amount of utilities into that.
Yeah, so going
That was going
across
to be
here
part of
would
the
be-
subdivision, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, because this originally was gonna have phase 2 up here,
Right,
right?
and go up to.
For
Oak
another
Grove.
300 homes, I think,
Yeah.
which never transpired. But it would be it'd be easy to go straight across here and then connect. So the question is, what's kind of your pleasure? Because I think at this juncture, we would go back to this property owner and say, we're really only interested in an easement.
They mentioned a price?
We haven't got that far yet.
Alright.
Now, when I say about the city acquiring this property, one of the ideas was and it would only be if the property owner was amicable to it, so that the city wouldn't necessarily buy it, like pay for it, but we would do some creative financing where he could donate it for tax write-off. And then that would give the city a good chunk of land to be able to work in a private-public partnership with some kind of developer to develop the rest of this land. It also would require, excuse
Yeah,
me?
That's what, 30 acres of land or something? And,
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's a huge donation.
And would we have to mow it then?
Well, yeah.
Well, we would probably lease it out to someone.
To another farmer
To a
for
farmer
now?
until it was ready to be developed.
Okay.
Assuming all that came to
If that
play,
was the-
and that the
okay.
owner was amicable to it, and we could come to an agreement. But I can't even begin to negotiate anything like that until I have understanding of what you. Yes,
He owns that
Yes.
weird piece?
yes.
Mhm.
And this?
And that little bit, yes.
This and this. That's so
And a part of this too is, we would have to contact, somebody, a topsoil company, and see if they
Yes.
could haul out that mound. Because
Yes.
obviously it would be hard to bury a water main 8 feet deep under 35 foot of dirt.
So.
It's
if I
probably
go
black dirt too, right?
here, We can do a live view.
It's not?
No, it's clay.
Oh,
It's the.
it's what,
from when I dug
from the
it out.
retention pond?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be something,
Yeah, it's like a giant rock.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sled Hill?
Whose truck is that?
not us.
But yeah, that big mound of dirt. is a-
Violation. It's abandoned.
And I don't believe this property is in the city's jurisdiction, so we would have to annex it. Anyways, I'm just presenting to you at this juncture, unless you want me to try and see if there's opportunity to try and create something to acquire a lot more property, I would go back to him simply to request an easement.
An easement.
Yeah.
I'd favor an easement.
Okay. Easy enough. That's the update.
If you don't do any of it, nothing changes, right?
Correct.
What happens if you don't do any of it?
Every once in a while, we have to shut off all of Oak
Right.
Grove Crossing.
It was
or-
only once in what,
Autumn
20-some
Glen.
years?
No, we've done it before.
Oh.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah. It's not
It's
rare,
inconvenient,
but
but it's not the
Yeah.
end of the world.
Well, and how's the water pressure down at your end of the dead end?
I don't have any issues with water
Oh,
pressure.
that's good.
I do occasionally get sediment,
Yeah.
but, that's because we're near the end of the line, right? So we do occasionally get sediment, but
And that system was designed to accept future phases, so there's, adequately sized piping and all that, so.
Decent
Yeah, it's
sized
new.
water main.
yeah, it is good pressure up there.
Any developers currently looking? Or not really?
Well, maybe. That's why,
So while in this area, could you go up to look at Huntington Ridge?
of course.
I just want to point out something.
Uh-oh.
So, no, not the one that actually has houses in it, but that one.
Holy sh.
So do you realize that we collect virtually zero property taxes from that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's undeveloped.
Right. But it's farmed, and whoever owns it is making money off of farming it. And when, in any other situation, if you have farmland and you have an income from that farmland, or even if you don't, you're paying taxes on it. But just because there are all these little boxes on there for possible houses, the way the county system works, they're too small to send a tax bill. So the larger pieces, there's a tax bill. But all of those little parcels, they don't send a tax bill. So we get zero from that. No one gets taxes.
That's true.
Which I think is,
So they don't tax just the whole big piece,
no,
as one is ag.
no,
They don't tax the individual parcels?
no, they don't. They're too small. And the owner is the owner of Royal Oaks. Apple Orchard, Bianchini. See, assessed value. And taxes, zero.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are they payable for last year?
What's that? And then the roads don't even count as a parcel, because that's considered right-of-way.
Well, maybe the answer is to remove all the plat. Because that's, it's all platted that way.
Right.
We could do that?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to
Find
that.
out.
I mean, yeah, unless you know a
Well, no, that-
developer that wants to actually come in.
Isn't that piece of
Yeah,
land
do it.
right there for the pheasants or some kind of forever protection? There's a barrier between those two developments.
So that might be the reason why that one's.
Yeah, that was, I think it was the Pheasants Forever organization or something like it.
No, this is owned by the HOA.
Yeah.
That part?
Yeah, which I'm not even sure that there's actually an HOA there, but,
Yes. The 5
Yeah, it did.
residents.
Can I get this land?
zero.
When you guys abandoned that road a few years ago,
I need to figure this
I
out.
don't know.
Yeah.
because there's nothing on Crowley.
It's worth reaching out to the county and find out.
Because that's 160 acres.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
I wonder then, I don't want to do that.
That's gonna be an answer I probably won't get right away because
Yeah.
they're in levy season, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
At this point,
Yes.
I can use it.
Yeah, you're not going to get that answer. How do I clear them out too? How about these empty lots then? Does he, because I thought he owned some of them too, no? Or is it KLM owns all of them, yeah?
So those are still taxed.
Because it's a developed subdivision.
Because it's
There's
roads
houses
already.
there,
Yeah.
And there's roads.
And he's not the original developer. Because the original developer doesn't have to pay taxes on the
Okay.
lots in the subdivision. Which is a scam.
But he's not the original developer for this land, does he?
And no,
No,
The
that
other guy
company's
is.
gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's
Yeah.
long gone. They went bankrupt.
But Bianchi, is that his?
Bianchini.
He is the original developer.
No, he's not. He acquired that land a few years ago.
But you said the original developer doesn't have to pay tax.
The original developer doesn't have to pay taxes in a subdivision.
And that's already got roads.
That
and-
already has
okay.
roads, that they've done all of that, and they're in the process
So
of
that's an
selling the
incentive
lots.
to get
So
those
they don't
houses
get
built.
taxed until until it's sold to the next owner. But, so when you have
I get
somebody
that.
come in and buys the lots in a subdivision, then it goes on the tax rolls. Once it changes hands, it goes
So
on the
this
tax
lot's
rolls.
taxed. Not much, but it's taxed.
$2.93.
133.
Okay, there's one.
Are those because they're off the road? Maybe that's why?
Could
It's not
be,
a
I
road.
don't know.
No road there now.
I mean, but there is a road that
That's
we
true, let's
abandoned.
not bring that up.
Yeah.
This one. That one's taxed.
But it's taxed as farmland.
Oh, wait, it's assessed.
Oh, it's
It's
assessed.
Assessed versus
It's not
taxed.
taxed.
But,
Yeah.
but this other one was. You know, pennies.
Yeah, yeah, and they may not even send out a tax bill. Because when it's under a certain amount, it costs them more to,
More to mail it.
So that
Yeah.
one doesn't have any tax on it, so. Interesting. Did not know that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
yeah,
Nice find, Lisa.
yeah.
You got any more?
Does that apply? Well, at one point, all this property, in Oak Grove Crossing, I lost my way here, up here was platted, but I don't think it's officially platted.
No,
Yeah.
when we
Wasn't
did,
filed.
when we did
Right, wasn't
the
recorded.
utility locates for discovery of the forced sanitary main, the telecommunications guy and the NICOR guy came out and said, on my map, I show houses and everything in here, but he's like, obviously, we don't have any utilities, they just never updated the map.
Well, in the old days, before Google Earth and everything else, with MapQuest, to get into our subdivision, showed where the streets were supposed to connect. And
Yeah.
it showed that you could get in there. And
Oh, from the north.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
from the north and
we-
even from,
from Oak Grove.
From Oak Grove Road.
yeah.
I remember taking that.
And
Well, because the model's
even
around
still,
Oak Grove Road.
a ton of trucks
Was there?
come down into our neighborhood. And they'll get to Lilac and go, oh, there's no way out. And then, so you'd be looking, there's a tractor trailer driving down Lilac Lane, like, why is this tractor in here, right?
Then I'd have to back up.
No, they end up kind of going around.
They would dead end right by my house there. And then
Yeah, and so
Have to back
it's,
up.
yeah.
Well, if there was if there was a through street there, then they could bypass the way station.
Yes,
Well, for the longest time,
Well, that's
the
what they
model
were trying to
homes
do.
on Google Earth did not come up as Bayberry. It came up as either Lonesome Road or something.
Lonesome Road.
So when we got dispatched, people were like, where's this at? Because it would show up like, no, it's,
Anyways,
Anyway, okay,
Forest Downs Water Main update,
Okay.
that's where we
All
are.
right.
for the update.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on to number 10. Anybody have anything for strategic vision?
I think we're doing it.
yeah.
We're on this,
Yeah.
working on getting through it, anyway. Anybody got any new business?
Sorta, kinda. It's more for Rob. I don't know if you guys noticed during this last little storm, we didn't get the leaf pickup. You notice how a lot of parts of town were flooded up?
Yep.
Is there any plan to?
Yes, they are coming, by the beginning of April. One week, no, the leaf pickup is going to be coming out. The
Alright.
leaf machines are coming out for one more time.
Where are we gonna sweep the streets? Cause a lot of those leaves are in the streets.
We will sweep the streets. A lot of times too, as the leaf machines are going around, that hose just kind of hangs over the gutter and they'll pick up a lot of that stuff, the loose leaf litter. It's a little early for the sweeper. I mean, we have had a couple 70-degree days, but getting it out there and having a place to dump, it's kind of a mess yet. So April, we're going to start seeing it, but the leaf machine or the leaf crew is coming back around beginning of April. So I was going to post to social media on Friday when it's 70 degrees and everybody's thinking about their yard.
All right. I mean, I just noticed especially in the old part of the ward and Third, a lot of stones. It's that time of year. Everything, spring hits, and every intersection stoned out, and a lot of the broken down roads are broken down more. And then, again, watching a lot of the flooding. I'm sure you guys saw that with the plows the other night. You guys had to actually come dig out the drains before they could
Yeah.
Do the rest of the work. So,
Yeah, it'd be nice if everybody who had an inlet in front of their house would just get out there with a rake and clean the leaves out of it.
good luck.
It's been cold.
Good luck. Because like to Mike's point, a lot of people
I
know they
just keep mine
can.
free all the time.
I try and do mine, but.
And
I'm
when it
gonna say
snows, I kind
haven't
of try
done
and
it
make
this
sure
winter.
it gets.
If I had
clean
one,
so
I would,
that As it melts. it
but I
gets in.
sometimes go around the subdivision with a rake, just because
Right.
it's crazy.
And then there's those who say that's the city's job and they shouldn't have to do
I
it.
figure I'm
So,
getting a check from the city, what the hell?
there's two sides to it.
It also, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always nice to do because you
Yeah.
are helping yourself or your neighbors out, because if that water goes away faster, there's less of a chance it ends up in your basement.
Yep.
Or ends up freeze thawing in the street and popping
Yeah.
your street out.
Mhm.
Okay, nobody, no business?
Oh, so we are getting a street sweeper or no?
Street sweeper will be coming out in spring.
Hey,
Just
that's Friday.
merely putting out an update, the sewer lining is going a little bit rougher than originally anticipated. All of the lines, all the sanitary lines and storm sewer lines that go underneath, especially sanitary lines that go underneath the railroad, are all old cast iron that are not in great condition. They've spent days on a stretch, just because it's nothing but scale and rust and, just kind of, they're not in great shape. They need to be cleaned beforehand, but, definitely it drives the point home that, lining it's a good idea, and this will pay back in spades. So hopefully they're still doing it today. They're gonna be working on it tomorrow, and lining beginning of April. I told them we need a invoice by the end of April. So,
Anybody else got any new business? Can I get the motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.